You know what's worse than getting divorce papers on Christmas morning? Getting them in front of your wife's entire family. While they cheer, let me take you back to that moment. Christmas Day, the tree's lit up, presents are scattered everywhere. My wife's whole family is gathered in our living room, her parents, her brother, her sister. Everyone's smiling, drinking coffee, pretending this is just another holiday. Then she does it. She hands me an envelope. Not wrapped, no bow. Just a plain manila envelope with that legal weight to it. You know the kind. I open it. Divorce papers. And before I can even process what I'm reading, the room erupts. Her mother starts clapping. Actually clapping. Like she just watched her daughter win an award. Then her sister joins in. Then her brother raises his coffee mug like he's making a toast. The whole living room is celebrating. Finally, her mother says, grinning, "She's been miserable for months. You two were never right for each other." Her father's nodding, her brother's smirking. This wasn't spontaneous. This was planned. She told them exactly what she was going to do. They'd rehearsed this moment. My wife stood there, arms crossed, waiting for me to break down, waiting for me to beg. She wanted drama. She wanted me to fall apart in front of everyone. Instead, I folded the papers, slipped them into my back pocket, calm as anything. Interesting timing, I said. Christmas, morning, and all. She smiled. That cold, satisfied smile. We both know this marriage is over. Her sister laughed. She's been planning this for weeks. We all have. Every single person in that room looked at me like I was some burden that had finally been lifted. They had no idea what was coming. Well, I said slowly, reaching into my jacket. Since we're being honest, I have something for you too. I pulled out an envelope. Official seal. Legal weight. Her confidence flickered, just for a second. Your Christmas present? I said. Open it in front of everyone. Since you wanted an audience. She snatched it from my hand. Her family crowded around like vultures. The room went dead silent as she tore it open. I watched her face change. Confusion, then recognition, then pure panic. The color drained from her cheeks. Go ahead, I said calmly. Read it out loud. Her voice cracked. Notice of eviction. 30 days to vacate the premises. The celebration died. Instantly. What does that mean? Her father asked, confused. You too own that house. I smiled. Actually, I own that house. Bought it 2 years before we got married. Never added her name to the deed. My wife dropped into the nearest chair. But I have rights, she stammered. What rights? You're not on the mortgage. You're not on the deed. You never contributed a dime. Legally speaking, you're a tenant. And I'm your landlord. And your landlord just gave you notice. Her brother stood up, red-faced. This is vindictive. Was my wife, I corrected. According to these divorce papers, she just served me. But I wasn't done yet. This family had spent years treating me like I wasn't good enough, like I was lucky to be there, like I should be grateful for every crumb of acceptance they threw my way. Now it was time for the truth. The eviction notice is dated December 1st, I said. I've been carrying it for 3 weeks, waiting for the right moment. You planned this, she accused. I suspected, I said. Hard to miss when someone stops coming home 3 nights a week and starts hiding their phone. I pulled out another document. That's why I had my lawyer draw this up 6 weeks ago, right after I found the credit card statements you thought you'd hidden. Her face went white. What? Credit card statements? The ones you opened in your maiden name. The ones with $23,000 in debt I knew nothing about. The ones you've been making minimum payments on while telling me we needed to cut back on expenses. I handed her brother the summary. His expression changed with each line he read. This says, you owe almost $30,000, he said quietly. The best part, I continued, is that since she's filing for divorce and opened these accounts in secret, my lawyer thinks we can make a case for financial fraud. Her eyes went wide. I pulled out my phone. Started reading. Online poker, slots, sports betting, $2,700 in October alone, and she tried to use our joint savings to cover it. 3 withdrawals of $2,000 each, money we were supposed to use for vacation. Her mother sat down heavily. The color had drained from her face too. I watched the family implode in real time. They'd spent years making me feel inadequate. Now they were seeing what I'd been dealing with all along. Here's what really happened, I said. She got in over her head financially. She knew I'd find out eventually, so she decided to file for divorce and try to take half of everything. Let me deal with the debt she created. But it backfired because she never checked who actually owned what. The room was so quiet you could hear the Christmas tree lights buzzing. Their celebration had turned into a funeral. Wait, she said, voice desperate. Can we talk privately? Maybe we can work something out. Work what out? You just handed me divorce papers in front of your entire family. You orchestrated this whole performance. You made this public. Her mother looked around helplessly. Maybe you could stay with us, honey. Silence. Not one family member opened their home to her. Not one. You're all just going to abandon me, my wife said, her voice breaking. Her brother shook his head. You need to take responsibility for your actions. The irony was beautiful. 30 days later, she moved out. Took her clothes, her personal items, and $30,000 in debt that was now entirely her problem. The family that cheered for her divorce, they stopped calling after the first week. And now, on to the next story. Imagine sitting at your own birthday party, surrounded by your girlfriend's friends, and your phone buzzes. It's a text from her, sitting right next to you, that says, surprise. It's not for me, it's from my ex. He still cares about you more than I do, lol. I looked at the text. I looked at the gift in my hands. Then, I made the decision to open it in front of everyone. And let me tell you, that was the moment her entire life fell apart. Here is how I accidentally ruined my girlfriend's affair in front of 15 witnesses. It was last Thursday. I had about 15 people squeezed into my apartment. Honestly, it was mostly her college friends because my crew was out of town, but she had insisted on hosting. She said she wanted to make the night special. At 8:47 p.m., she hands me this gift. It was professionally wrapped in navy paper with a silver bow. Her friends all have their phones out, filming, looking excited. That's when my phone buzzes in my pocket. I look down, it's the text from her. Surprise. It's not from me, it's from my ex. He still cares about you more than I do, lol. I read it twice. I look up, and she's grinning at me, literally waiting for my reaction. She whispers, interesting, right? Just open it? So, I do. I rip the paper, I open the box, and right there, in front of her best friends, I pull out a set of red lace lingerie, size 4, her exact size. There's a card tucked inside. I pick it up and read it. Thursday, 8 p.m. Presidential suite. Wear this and nothing else. Can't wait to have you back where you belong. The room went dead silent. I mean, total silence. Someone gasped. Another girl actually dropped her phone. I held up the red lace. Anyone want to explain why my girlfriend's ex sent her $200 lingerie with a hotel reservation and, for tonight, her face went ghost white. The grin was gone. I can explain, she stammered. I checked my watch. It's 8:47. You're supposed to be there right now. Her best friend stood up awkwardly. I think we should go. Nah, I said, my voice surprisingly calm. Stay. This is getting good. I looked at my girlfriend. How does he even know my address? Unless you gave it to him. Or maybe this was supposed to go to your place, but you're juggling too many lies. She started crying immediately. You're embarrassing me. I'm embarrassing you. I laughed. I just opened lingerie from your lover in front of my birthday guests. One of her friends tried to cut in. Maybe take this to the bedroom. Why? I asked. She planned this party. Everyone here is already involved. I tossed the lingerie at her chest. You're already late. The presidential suite runs about $600 a night. He's invested. I looked at her best friend's face. She looked guilty. She knew. Everyone out, I said. Party's over. They scrambled. My girlfriend tried to stay, but I stopped her. You too. Check the lease. Your name's not on it. I pushed them out and locked the door. Immediately, I went into damage control mode. I went into the bedroom and locked that door too. I photographed everything, the lingerie, the card. I took a screenshot of her text. I emailed everything to myself and backed it up to the cloud. Then, I saw she had left her phone on the counter in the chaos. I picked it up and found the ex's number. I hit dial. Hey baby, a guy's voice answered. Where are you? I've got champagne. This isn't your baby, I said flatly. This is her boyfriend. The one who pays for the apartment you just sent lingerie to. Click. He hung up instantly. I texted him from my phone, you can have her, I'm done. But just so you know, you're getting someone who cheats, lies, and is about to be homeless. He blocked me immediately. Friday morning, she finally broke. We met at a coffee shop. And I asked her how long. 2 months, she whispered. How many times? 6. Hotels? She nodded. Why? You're always working, she said, trying to turn it on me. We never do anything exciting. He makes me feel alive. I stared at her. I work 50 hours a week paying for everything. Rent, bills, food, while you work 20 hours for fun money. You're out by Sunday. Where am I supposed to go? She cried. Your ex has hotel money, I said. Ask him. He's not answering. You ruined it. I ruined your affair, I corrected her. Good. She actually called her mom on speakerphone right there. Her mom starts screaming at me, you can't throw my daughter out. The lease is solely in my name, I told the phone. And she never ended her old apartment lease. She's been paying rent there while living with me for free. She has somewhere to go. I hung up. By Monday, things got ugly. I boxed up her stuff. She showed up at my office screaming. The security had to remove her. My boss asked for an explanation, and I had to tell him everything just to protect my job. That afternoon, a cop showed up at my door. A report had been filed about stolen property. I showed the officer the receipts for everything in the apartment. I showed him the lease with only my name. I showed him the Ring camera footage of her taking her boxes. This is civil at best, the cop sighed. Keep documenting. She seems unstable. He was right. Over the next 2 weeks, the harassment ramped up. I got texts from 12 different numbers. She showed up at my gym, just watching me from the parking lot. My barber told me a woman came in asking about my schedule. Then, she crossed the line. She sent fake complaints to my employer, claiming I was violent and unstable. HR called me in. I was ready. I laid it all out. The original text, the timeline, the Ring footage of her screaming, the security reports. This is clearly false, I told them. My company sided with me. They noted it as harassment. I drove straight to the courthouse and filed for a restraining order. I attached 30 pages of documentation. The hearing was 2 weeks later. The judge reviewed everything silently, 12 phone numbers, 2 workplace visits, false police reports, false employer complaints. He looked over his glasses at her. Did you contact him from multiple numbers after he asked you to stop? I just wanted to talk, she sobbed. Yes or no? Yes, but. Did you go to his workplace twice? He wouldn't listen to me, she cried. He doesn't have to listen, the judge said firmly. He ended the relationship. That is his right. The judge granted the order. 1 year, no contact. She has to stay 100 yards away from my home, my workplace, and anywhere I frequent. She walked out of that courtroom crying, single, and blocked on every platform. And honestly, best birthday present I ever got. And now, on to the next story. She looked me dead in the eye and told me I was guilty of financial abuse. Why? Because I wouldn't give a girlfriend of less than a year full access to my life savings. I thought she was joking at first, but when she started showing up at my workplace and threatening to ruin my reputation, I realized this wasn't just about money, it was about control, and I had to get out before she drained me dry. I'm 30 years old and I work as a financial analyst. Naturally, I'm good with numbers. For years, I've been disciplined building my savings brick by brick. I'm not living like a king, I'm just prepared. It's my safety net for emergencies or, eventually, a down payment on a small place. It's something I'm proud of. My girlfriend and I had been dating for almost a year when the dynamic shifted. It started innocently enough. One morning, over coffee, she casually mentioned how my savings could help us level up. I actually laughed. I thought she was teasing. Then, her expression went cold. I'm serious, she said. We should combine finances. If we're committed, that includes money. Now, keep in mind, we weren't living together. We weren't engaged. We weren't even close to that stage. I tried to explain gently that I wasn't comfortable handing over the savings I'd worked a decade for. She glared at me. It's controlling to keep it from me, she snapped. If you trusted me, you wouldn't hide anything. Just like that, she spun the narrative. I wasn't a responsible adult protecting my security anymore suddenly. I was a stingy dictator. Over the next few days, the campaign began. She started pointing out my controlling behaviors. Apparently, tracking my own budget was toxic. Not splurging on luxury items was punishing her. Then came the texts. She'd send me screenshots of her co-workers' engagement rings or stories about how their fiancés gave them free rein of their bank accounts. Real love means sharing everything, she'd text. The humiliation tactic came a week later. We were at a friend's gathering, drinks in hand, everyone having a good time. Suddenly, she loudly told another couple that I was mothering her independence by refusing to combine resources. The room went quiet. I tried to laugh it off, but my stomach turned. I was furious. When we got back to my place, she exploded. Real couples don't keep secrets. Your money is our money if this is a serious relationship. What gives you the right to call me controlling? I asked, trying to keep my voice level. You have more than me, she yelled. You should be supporting me if you truly care. I stood there, stunned. I had paid for every date, every gift. I'd even covered her rent a few times when she was short. Yet here she was, demanding the vault key. You're selfish, she hissed. All you care about is your precious account balance. Then came the ultimatum. She told me that unless I proved my trust by giving her a say in my savings, she was done. She literally used the phrase financial abuse. I almost caved just to stop the fighting. But then the mask slipped completely. A few days later, she pitched me an amazing investment opportunity. It required a massive chunk of my savings immediately. When I pressed for details, paperwork, a website, anything, she got vague. She had no proof. That was the final straw. I knew exactly what was happening. I asked her to meet at my apartment. We need to break up, I said. Her face went slack. You're dumping me over money. No, I told her. I'm ending this because you're obsessed with what's mine and you refuse to respect boundaries. She erupted. She called me cheap. A man-child. Then the tears came, wailing that she'd never find anyone else. When that didn't work, she threatened to post on social media about how I kept her poor. If you try to, I held the door open until she left, but she didn't go quietly. For weeks, my phone blew up. Non-stop texts. Then, she started showing up at my office. One morning, she stood outside the building, screaming that I was being unfair until I had to ask security to escort her off the property. Her mother even called me. She scolded me for breaking her daughter's heart and lectured me on how a real man shares his wealth. Then came the final desperate move. A Monday morning. I opened my front door and she was there, holding a cheap little trinket as a peace offering. I promise I'll never demand your money again, she pleaded, trying to wedge her way past me into the apartment. I just need some stability right now. You need to leave, I said, blocking her path. She pushed against me. You're heartless. I'm calling the police, I said, pulling out my phone. She hurled a few more insults, screamed that I'd regret losing her, and finally stormed off. I changed my locks that afternoon. I installed a security camera the next day. My lawyer friend confirmed she had absolutely no legal standing to claim a dime of my savings, despite her threats of suing for emotional distress. It's been 6 months now. I used those savings she wanted so badly to put a down payment on a condo. I'm living in my own place, debt-free, with my peace of mind intact. Last I checked, she's still posting vague rants about betrayal on social media. Turns out, the only thing controlling about me was my ability to protect what I earned. And now, on to the next story. Imagine your father marrying a woman 4 years younger than you, and then demanding you introduce her to your wedding guests as mom. That wasn't a joke. That was my reality. And when I refused to play along with his delusion, he decided to hijack my wedding speech to do it himself. But he had no idea that his obsession with optics was about to destroy his entire life. Here's what happened. My dad, Kenneth, is 55. He's always been impulsive, the kind of guy who chases the next big thing without thinking about the consequences. 2 years ago, he married Willow. She's 26. For context, I'm 30. My dad's new wife is literally younger than his own daughter. My actual mother, Monica, divorced him a decade ago. She finally walked away after years of his gambling, serial cheating, and total financial recklessness. I thought that was the peak of the drama. I was wrong. 3 weeks before my wedding to my husband, Charles, my dad called me with a special request. He told me, in a completely serious voice, that he wanted me to formally introduce Willow as my mother during the reception. It's about respect, he said. It's good optics for you. It'll make her feel welcome. I was floored. I held the phone away from my ear and just stared at it. He wanted me to pretend that a woman barely out of college, someone younger than me, was my mother. I told him flat out, no, absolutely not. I warned him. I told him, Dad, if you try to push this narrative at the wedding, people aren't going to respect you. They're going to laugh at you. It will backfire. He didn't listen. My wedding day arrived. Everything was perfect, the dress, the venue, the vows. But then came the speeches. My dad took the microphone. He started off okay, but then he went completely off script. He turned to Willow and called her the most wonderful mother figure in my life. Then he made a joke about how lucky I was to have two moms now. The room didn't just go quiet, it froze. I looked at my mom, she looked shocked. My bridesmaids were exchanging horrified glances, but my dad? He kept going. Later that night, the real chaos started. He began physically dragging Willow around to my friends and extended family, introducing her as my daughter's new mom. One of my childhood friends actually laughed out loud in his face. She thought it was a bit. When she realized he was serious, her smile dropped and she just walked away. My aunt turned to me and muttered, "Is he for real?" before turning her back on him. By the end of the night, the guests weren't respecting him, they were openly mocking him. Someone whispered loud enough for me to hear that Willow was his midlife crisis in a dress. Another guest joked that she should have been the flower girl, not the mother. And poor Willow, she looked miserable. She kept trying to pull his arm, whispering for him to stop, but he just waved her off, saying, "I'm doing this for your own good. Just play along." My dad cornered me near the bar later that night, absolutely furious. He accused me of turning everyone against them. He said I set him up to fail. I just looked at him and said, "I warned you. You did this to yourself." The humiliation didn't stop at the wedding. Weeks later, people were still gossiping. At his golf club, someone called him Father Time and asked if Willow was his babysitter. My dad was spiraling. He texted me, demanding I post an Instagram story defending him. He wanted me to tell the world he hadn't done anything wrong. When I refused, the guilt tripping started. He screamed that I was ungrateful, that I owed him because he provided for me as a child. Then, he dropped the bombshell. He claimed he was now an influencer and his reputation mattered. I checked his account. He had 108 followers. I hung up and muted him, but then things got dark. Willow got pregnant with twins. Instead of stepping up, my dad fell right back into his old patterns. The gambling started again, the late nights, and, inevitably, the cheating. Willow caught him cheating not once, but 3 times. And 3 times, she forgave him. She was desperate. She actually reached out to my mom, his ex-wife, asking for advice on how to handle him. My mom didn't sugarcoat it. She told Willow, "I left him for these exact reasons. Do not make the mistake of staying and hoping he will change. He won't." At 36 weeks pregnant, ready to pop with twins, Willow caught him cheating again. That was it. She filed for divorce. My dad completely lost it. He called me over 20 times in a single day. When I didn't pick up, he started calling my office. Then, my husband's office, I finally answered just to make it stop. He was manic. He tried to blame me for his marriage falling apart. He literally said, "If you had just let Willow take your mom's place, none of this would have happened." I saw red. I told him, "Dad, I am proud of Willow for leaving you. If you try to fight her in court, I will stand by her side, not yours. And if you contact me or my husband again, I'm filing a restraining order." He didn't take that well. Later that day, he posted a video online. It was a rambling, incoherent mess claiming that I, my mom, and Willow had conspired to ruin his life. He admitted to gambling, but said he had no other way to make money. Then, he accused Willow of getting pregnant just to trap him. The internet is a cruel place, but sometimes it's fair. The comments were brutal. People saw right through him. They called out his lies, his narcissism, and his creepiness. By the end of the day, he had lost all 108 of his precious followers. He is completely isolated now. Most of the family has cut him off. His friends want nothing to do with him. And with twins on the way, he's about to face a mountain of child support he can't pay. As for Willow, she reached out to me quietly. She asked if I'd be willing to stay in touch, considering her babies will be my half-siblings. I told her I would love to. She's been through hell, and honestly, she deserves a village. My mom is even supporting her, telling her how brave she is for getting out. My dad had every chance to be a father and a husband. Instead, he chose to lie, cheat, and gamble his life away. He's sitting alone in a house he probably can't afford, blaming everyone else for the fire he started. I don't feel bad for him. I'm just looking forward to meeting my new siblings and making sure they grow up knowing that family is about love, not optics. And now, on to the next story. She called me a pathetic little man for asking about the mark on her neck. She swore up and down it was just a spider bite. But spider bites don't destroy marriages, and they definitely don't get you fired. It all started when my wife, Addison, came home from a company retreat. That same week, she had missed our daughter Riley's 5th birthday. I will never forget the image of Riley sitting there in her little birthday dress, clutching a construction paper card, waiting for over an hour for a FaceTime call that never came. I kept telling her, "Mommy will call any minute." Meanwhile, Addison was posting photos from the resort bar at midnight. When I finally picked Addison up from the airport, that's when I saw it. A distinct purplish-red mark on her neck. She had angled her hair to cover it, but when she turned to put Riley down, there it was. Undeniable. That night, I found Addison in the bathroom, staring at the mark in the mirror. "That's some bug bite," I said. Our eyes met in the reflection. For a second, I saw panic. Then, it hardened into irritation. "I'm calling my doctor tomorrow," she snapped. I didn't back down. "Our daughter's birthday wasn't nothing, Addison. And that mark on your neck isn't nothing either." Her face went ice cold. "You're acting like a pathetic little man because I had to work during a work trip. Grow up." She grabbed the pillow and stormed out. "I'm sleeping in the guest room." The next morning, the guilt was practically radiating off her. She came downstairs wearing a turtleneck. In August, in Phoenix. After I dropped Riley off at camp, I knew what I had to do. I opened her laptop. Her passwords were saved. We had always trusted each other. Or so I thought. It didn't take long. I found messages with a guy named Brett, going back 3 weeks. Inside jokes. Him telling her she deserves better. Her responding with winky faces. Then came the retreat messages. Jokes about his room having a better view. I took screenshots of everything. Then I checked our credit card statements. 2 charges from the resort bar, one at 11:47 p.m. and another at 1:13 a.m. on Riley's birthday. But the nail in the coffin came from an unexpected source, Addison's sister Sophie. Sophie called me in a panic. Apparently, Brett's ex-girlfriend worked at the same company. Brett had been bragging about hooking up with a married coworker. The ex put 2 and 2 together. It was Addison. That night, I was ready. I walked into the living room. "I know about Brett. I know about the bar charges. I know everything." She immediately went on the defensive. "You're spying on me? That's a violation of my privacy." "You're my wife," I said calmly. "Or were you planning on telling me?" She stood up, her face twisting into a sneer. "Fine. Yes, things happened at the resort, but you drove me to it." I stood there, stunned. "I drove you to it. You've been emotionally unavailable for years," she yelled. "Brett makes me feel alive. You just see me as Riley's mom and your wife. That's it. I gave up everything for this family, and what did I get? A husband who takes me for granted, and a kid who won't stop crying." The room went silent. "Did you seriously just say that about Riley?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Don't act shocked," she spat. "The panic attacks. The neediness. I can't breathe in this house. I'm done pretending." I slowly reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. "I've been recording this," I said. "Arizona is a one-party consent state." Her face went white. "I've got screenshots of your messages with Brett. I have Sophie's statement. And now, I have you on tape admitting you abandoned our family." She froze. "Oh, and check your work email," I added. "HR wants to meet with you." She scrambled to open her laptop, hands shaking violently. "Brett's ex-girlfriend reported both of you," I told her. "You're about to lose your career for a guy who's probably already looking for the next distraction." She slammed the laptop shut. "Fine. You want Riley? Take her. I'm tired of pretending I want this suburban mom life anyway. Riley will get over it." She grabbed her keys and slammed the front door. I called my lawyer immediately. When I played him the recording, he actually laughed. "We are going to destroy her in court," he said, and we did. Brett got fired within 48 hours. HR investigated Addison next. Security footage showed her entering Brett's room just before midnight and not leaving until dawn. They terminated her immediately, no severance, no references. The custody hearing was brutal, but short. My lawyer played the recording of her calling our daughter exhausting and saying she won't stop crying. The judge looked at Addison and asked if she made those statements.
Yes, but
No buts, the judge interrupted. Primary physical custody to the father. Over the next year, Addison's sister, Sophie, became a rock for us. She stepped up where Addison had stepped out. A year later, I asked Sophie on a date. 2 years later, I proposed. Riley even helped pick out the ring. But Addison wasn't done with us yet. Our wedding day arrived. Riley was the flower girl, looking like a princess. Sophie looked incredible. Everything was perfect. Until the officiant asked, if anyone has a reason why these two should not be wed, speak now. Usually, that's just a formality. Not today. Addison shot up from a back pew. She was uninvited, wearing all black, looking like a chaotic mess. I object, she screamed, marching down the aisle. Sophie, that's my husband. You can't do this. The music stopped. The guest gasped. My best man, Alex, didn't hesitate. He calmly walked over to the dessert table, picked up a massive frosting-covered slice of our 3-tier cake, and launched it. Splat. It hit Addison directly in the face. Frosting exploded across her forehead and down her black dress. For a second, there was total silence. Then, the entire wedding party burst into laughter. Nobody wants you here, Addison, Alex shouted. You messed up the best thing that ever happened to you. Security dragged her out while she was still screaming about how Riley needed her real mother. 6 months later, Sophie officially adopted Riley. Addison had to relinquish her parental rights due to no consistent involvement and unstable housing. Riley is in 3rd grade now. She calls Sophie Mom without hesitation. Addison made her choices. I made mine. And looking at my happy family today, I know exactly who won.